convince me he's not omnipresent. 'Cause through your face I see he's lying. And I would do anything to be the one you call.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Demonte Sims, and based off the title, you must be here to learn how to edit slog3 the most efficient and quickest way. And lucky for you, I'm gonna be showing you how I do it in my workflow in a little bit. But slog3, for those of you who don't know, is basically a flat profile that you can shoot in pretty much every camera. And what slog3 does is it allows you to have more flexibility in post, adjusting colors, adjusting highlights and shadows, etc. Basically making the camera focus on detail rather than figuring out, is this black, is this pink, is this green, things like that. So the camera is basically able to only focus on the details, and then it's your job to bring the colors back. With that being said, working with slog3 can kind of be tough, especially when you're first starting off. I struggled with this a lot when I first got my camera and got into just video recording in general. I do a lot of content creation personally myself, not really too much professional work. I am trying to tap into that scene right now, and if you are a content creator out there, you know that you have to continuously make content and put stuff out. You buy these expensive cameras and these expensive lenses, you want to get the highest quality possible, and the best way to do that is to record in a log profile. I have a few clips that I shot in different scenarios, and you're gonna see how some situations you might have to edit it this way, whereas other situations is just straight plug and go, adjust it to your liking, put your creative look on it, and pretty much that's all you have to do. And that's kind of what I wanted with this look. I wanted something that would just allow you to create content and not have that excuse of, I don't know how to edit, I don't know how to get my colors how I want it. This right here is gonna solve everything that you need when it comes to working with slog3. All right, so here I have Final Cut loaded, and this is what I use to edit. Now this LUT will work in any editing program. You just have to load it in like you would any other LUT. So here I have a couple barber clips that I recorded a few days ago. And as you can see, everything is shot in slog3. Let me actually get rid of one of these. Everything is shot in slog3, super flat, no color, no contrast. If you look closely at the video, you can literally see that the white balance in every scene is shot a little differently with this LUT. It's pretty much a one-step plug-and-play LUT, which is very, very great. So you can see the color temperature is just super different. When this video right here of my wife, we shot this in the car, just playing around, trying to get used to the new camera. And you can just see the tone of the video is completely different. Here's me in the bathroom, just going through my morning routine. And the last one is a video of my wife again when we're at the park just chilling. The reason why I chose these videos because the first video was lit specifically in my studio, so controlled lighting. The one where my wife is in the car was like a cloudy, moody day outside. And the one in the bathroom with me was, I believe, lit by the window in my shower. So natural, kind of uncontrolled lighting as well. And then obviously the last one with my wife outside is a sunny day. Not too sunny, but the sun's out. So the first thing I do all the time when I'm about to start an edit is I go get me an adjustment layer. And I just got this one. You can find them on the internet anywhere. And basically what this does is it allows you to apply whatever settings you want to a certain clip or to all the clips. So here I'm just gonna drag it over all the clips because I want to apply, the same thing to all of them. So now I will go over here, and personally, I use Color Finale. If you're not tapped in with Color Finale, check it out. It's definitely probably the best thing for Final Cut. It makes it have all the things that Final Cut don't have in the original system. Things that you might find in, Premiere or DaVinci. Color Finale has those things. So I'm gonna show you how I edit it from Color Finale, and then I might show you how to put the LUT on if you don't have Color Finale. But if you're using Final Cut, you definitely want to get Color Finale. It's gonna change your life. So I'm gonna drag Color Finale over my adjustment layer, right? So now I have control over how I grade all of these clips. And whatever I put on one clip is going to apply to all the clips via the adjustment layer. So in Color Finale, all I have to do is this: input LUT. I go here, boom, put my LUT on. And as you can see, for the most part, colors are great, accurate, everything matches. Only thing I have to touch is pretty much my highlights and my shadows, which is exactly what I want. Now, if you're a content creator, the biggest thing is getting content out, right? And being consistent. And if you're having trouble editing, being consistent, you might get, discouraged because you don't have edits that you want, or you can't get it to look how you want, or it's just taking you too long. With my LUT, Bobby Lavelle, it's gonna take your video. Literally, I've done nothing to these clips. Literally from this to this, this to this, minimal editing, right? So now I'm gonna select my blade tool, and I'm gonna show you how I would grade each of these clips with my LUT. So in this first clip, it's just me cutting hair, and all of these are shot in vertical except this clip, because like I said, I do content creation mostly, so it only makes sense for me to show you how my workflow is. So I slap on my LUT. That's the first thing that I do, right? Another thing, when you're shooting, you want to make sure you set your white balance to a certain number so that it's set correctly. It's gonna save you a lot of time in post when you're color grading. Now I know in my studio, I shoot everything pretty much like 55 Kelvin. So only thing I have to do is go over here to the color temperature and drag that to 55. Sometimes I go from 55 to 6,000, just depending on how I feel. But when I go to around 55, that seems about right. Now, if I feel like it's a tad bit too dark, depending on the angle where I was at, or where the shadows were casting in my studio, because I only have one softbox light, and that's the main light on his face. But if you look to the back of his head, it's pretty dark because the light just doesn't cast over there, right? But that easily can be fixed in post. What I'll do is, this is my shadows, midtones, highlights right here. So I'm gonna grab my shadows and I'll just pull that up. Now typically I set a line right here at 5%. I feel like if I go down to 0, it's gonna be a tad bit too dark and I start losing information. Some people pull their stuff down to 0. My sweet spot is like 5. Now as far as my skin tones and my highlights and my midtones, that's all done by eyeball. So I adjusted my shadows. Now I'm gonna bring up the highlights just a tad bit because I want to show more detail in the haircut, and I felt like it was too dark. And then to bring back down some of that mood, I'm gonna drag my midtones down just a tad bit. And from this point right here, I don't have to do anything else. But if I wanted to, I could go in, and take out some saturation in the skin. Like I said, this LUT is more on the intense side. So if it's too saturated for you, all you have to do is go in and take some of the saturation out. And this is the clip right here. Look at that. I just edited that in about 2 minutes. And had I not have to explain what I was doing, it'd have been done even quicker. So in this second clip, I felt like the way this was shot and the way the LUT sits on this clip, you can leave it like this, 100%. But if you want to get more of a moody look, all you have to do is simply go to your color temperature, change it. And personally, I think this one looks good around like 6,000. So that's what I'm gonna leave it at. Now I'm gonna pull up my color wheels. I'm gonna pull up my hue versus saturation. So on this one, I feel like I want to go for a more moody cinematic look. So on this one, I might drag the shadows down to 0, and then I will boost my highlights up just a tad bit, and then I'm gonna like really kind of exaggerate the midtones. And then, like I said, if you want to get more of a creative look, I can go to my shadows and I can just introduce like a little bit more chill in there, And now we have more of a cinematic look. Also, I can go to my color selector tool and I can just click on her skin tones and pretty much I can take a little bit of saturation out and boom, the clip is done. I didn't have to do anything extra. Now, I didn't have to necessarily put my creative look on it, but if that's what you're going for, this is how easy it is to do. And my LUT just gives you the ability to go straight into your creative look rather than worrying about bringing the colors back, getting the colors accurate, how's your skin tones, etc. You have to do very little to make it look fine. And here's the final clip. I think that looks very good, super cinematic, has a distinct mood to it. I was recording a reel, doing my daily routine or whatever, just trying to do something different. I did purchase the Fx3, so I've been trying to record as much as possible, if possible. So here, like I said, I'm just in the bathroom doing hand motions and stuff like that. And this clip went from looking like this to this, right? And honestly, as you can see, I feel like this clip has like a certain mood to it already without even touching it. But I do feel like it's a tad bit too dark. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna touch my shadows because it's already a pretty dark clip. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna drag my highlights up to introduce a little bit more light in the scene. And I'll drag my midtones down, maybe take the highlights a little bit higher, right? And that's pretty much all I have to do with this clip. I don't have to go in, do any curves. I don't have to, none of that. You don't have to add anything when you use my LUT. And that, like I said before, that's the main thing I was going for when creating this LUT. Is very minimalistic, very simple, and very easy. And that's literally all I did with that clip, and I think it looks fine. If I wanted it to be a little bit more moody, all I have to do is drag down the midtones a little bit more, and it's a lot more moody. And again, if you wanted to add some type of creative look to it, all you have to do is, play with your wheels a little bit, and now you have a very creative look that was super easy to do. All right, so in this last clip, this is my wife. We're at the park. Like I said, since I got the Fx3, I've just been kind of just recording random stuff. I think this was a perfect clip to put in it because we have literally 4 different settings of how this LUT can be used and how well it works. So now we're outside with natural lighting, which every element right now is completely uncontrollable. So this LUT is very good in pretty much every scenario as long as it's shot correctly. So we're just at the park kicking it, and again, the video went from this to this with 1 step. But I feel like the way I had my color temperature was just not really warm enough, but there's not enough saturation in this. So what I do is I want to dial back to make it a little bit cooler, to kind of get the skin tones right. So I'm gonna leave it at maybe 6,000, and then again I pull out my curves and that. So I'm looking at my graphs, it's right at 5 where I like it. I'm gonna boost the highlights a little bit and really probably drag my midtones down, right? And you can see how much of a difference this made by just doing those few little steps. It literally went from this to this. Very subtle, very easy, and very quick to achieve. Again, if you wanted a special look, you can go through and do that. All I would do on this clip personally is select her skin, and I would maybe add saturation this time, right? And I would leave this clip just like this. It was shot in slow motion. It's a little laggy right now, but it was shot in slow motion, so everything looks buttery smooth and super accurate. Look at that. In about 2 seconds, we went from this to this. So yeah, that's how easy my LUT is to use. If you guys are interested in it, I will have a link to it below. It definitely helped me out, helps me out to this day. And as I get deeper into my film and videography career, I think this LUT is gonna allow me to achieve certain looks that I struggled getting because I was so worried about getting the color back. So yeah, YouTube, that's gonna be my one-step plug-and-play LUT that I created. That's helped me out create content. That's helped me grow my following to almost over 30K. And if you guys liked it, I will have a link below. You can copy it. If not, I appreciate you taking the time out watching this video. I hope I was able to teach you something. And if you guys enjoy kind of little video tutorials like this, let me know in the comments below. I can literally walk through how I edit my videos in a little bit more detail and how I get certain creative looks when doing content creating. But yeah, that's gonna sum up the video. Until next time, peace, love, we out.